see we're still having tea.
All right, guys, we're back at Crafty's episode 20? 20, episode 20. Holy crap. 20, oh my God, 20 episodes. So we have guests again, graciously enough, the Crafty Guys were able to, and when I say last minute, I mean last minute, join us because we had another same cancellation actually again.
I swear I'm gonna get Ashley Mears on this show.
But I figure I'll start with you guys. Can introduce yourselves better than I can introduce you. So if John and Mikey, you want to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about who you are. Who are the Crafty Guys?
Okay. Well, I'm Mikey, and I guess this is John. We're the Crafty Guys Co. We started our little business back in probably
August 2020.
2020, August. And we just been doing it ever since. So doing a little crafty, Dollar Tree stuff and things like that.
Oh, you guys have been doing it much longer than that.
Well, so I was doing tumblers and stuff before that, probably 2018, 2019. But we really didn't take off until 2020. So I always say that Mikey's the face of the Crafty Guys, and I'm more of the background of the Crafty Guys because he's the one that always goes live. So
John's pretty crafty too. He does like structured craft.
That's what I call
that.
it.
Yeah, that's what John calls them.
I like it.
Like kind of similar to us, really, honestly, too, because like Sarah's the one that's usually in front of the camera all the time, and I'd like to make stuff. I'm just not I like structured stuff though, like you said. I like building necessarily versus actually like decorating per se, I guess.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I like doing the tumblers. I started a rhinestone pen.
Y'all created a monster with them rhinestones, y'all.
And then I like the laser cutter. I like, sublimation, heat press, like all that I consider structured, where he can just turn a pile of nothing into something.
I love that. I struggle sometimes with that. I need a little bit more visual help to make things at the end. I can't just see a pile of stuff sometimes and craft it. I wish.
So what made you guys get into crafting in the way that you do it? Like, did it start as a hobby, or did you have the plan from the get-go to do like, your kits and everything like that? Did that just kind of happen organically?
There was never a plan. It just kind of happened organically. So I think back in 2018, I started doing the loom knitting and making like beanies and scarves, and I did a couple other things and made some keychains with paracord and things, and then all of a sudden I wanted a Cricut. So me and my best friend Chin, we decided we were going to do this art show at a hospital down in Virginia Beach, and the goal was, let's get enough money to buy a Cricut. And I think we were like $50 short of that goal to buy a Cricut at the time. But she ended up putting an extra 50 in so we can get the Cricut.
Sure.
And then once we got the Cricut, it was like, oh, look, I'm making decals. Oh, look, I'm heat pressing some vinyl on some onesies and shirts. Oh, now I want to try tumblers. And so it just kind of kept evolving. And then 2020 came around, and I'll let Mikey take it for that part.
Oh. So we all know 2020. My job shut down. I was the service manager at the Funny Bone and the comedy club. And when that shut down, I found craft videos. I found Lizzie and Aaron and Amber Strong and a couple others. And they would go live and, they would show their Dollar Tree haul and turn this Dollar Tree haul into something beautiful. I was like, you know what, let's try that. So I would make frequent trips to Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Goodwill to just try to find something cool that I can, make pretty.
Yeah.
And then one day I was like, you know what, I'm going to try to go live. And I did. And
and he was under the influence heavily.
I had to get that liquid courage in me, and I had messaged. I was like, "Hey, I'm doing my first live. Wish me luck." Because within like their little craft groups and such, Lizzie and Aaron's and Amber's and stuff. So I went live and I started out with like 12 people, and then all of a sudden I had like 500 people watching me, and I panicked.
And the number kept growing.
Yeah, it just kept going up and up and up and up. And the next thing I know, Lizzie and Aaron's in there, and then Amber Strong is in there, and they shared me to their pages, their groups and everything. Like, come over here, check this guy out. It just kind of went from there.
How cool.
Made a fool of myself, but no regrets.
It took him a couple weeks. When he was going live, he had to have that liquid courage, and I think it took him a couple weeks to a couple months for him to finally realize he didn't need it anymore.
Right, because I was never comfortable in front of other people per se. I guess I didn't have the confidence in me, and then just as I seen like, oh well, these people like me for me, and I don't have to, party every time I'm live and try to worry about if I'm going to finish the craft or not. So
I like the way you put it, though. I really do, because I remembered myself doing the same thing, because it's a lot of anxiety goes into that.
It's almost like you start pre-gaming knowing that you have a live. Go,
oh yeah,
hey, we got a live tonight, so you don't forget to hit the liquor store on the way home.
Let's chug this buzzball real quick.
We still have a buzzball rolling around in our car.
Oh, those things are so bad.
We don't drink them. That's why it's rolling around. I don't know how it got there.
Right.
I had my first buzzball up in New Jersey on a work trip.
Is buzzballs a New Jersey thing?
I don't know.
I think they were still so new at the time, and we found them when we were up in. It wasn't Marlton. It was more north of that. Opening a store during the pandemic. We were training a store in like super North Jersey, and we were here for 2 weeks because they had to break down our training groups to smaller groups for every day. So we would get me and my boss and coworkers, like we would go to the liquor store right down the street, and we'd try some different wines. We saw these buzzball things, and we would just try different things. And
that's so funny. When the Misfit Makers came down for their tour date, when they did classes here, they went to them and Jen Parnell went to the liquor store to grab us some drinks. They came back with all these buzzballs. I'm like, what are these things? She's like, you have to drink it real fast. I'm like, I can't just sip on it. I'm not that thirsty. I don't want to
you can't sip it.
You got to take it to the face and then hope for the best.
Or at least mix it with something to make it taste better.
That's what we went to the expo to take them on a quick tour to show them the place. And Sean was with us, and Sean saw the buzzball in the car and was like, what is this? And they were like, no, like you get a 30-minute buzz, you just chug it and then it's good. And Sean chugged it on the way to go there. And he said like 10 minutes later, he got real hot.
They're dangerous.
Oh my goodness. It was warm and everything. Oh.
So when you guys got all of that attention so fast with the lives and everything, was it all positivity right off the get-go too? Or was there anything like, I feel like the more inevitably when you have enough people following you, the negativity starts to come out of the woodwork for seemingly no reason, it seems. So like, have you guys had to face that type of stuff, or has it generally been sunshine and rainbows?
So there's gonna be like two different instances, and I'll talk about one and I'll let Mikey talk about the other.
Sure.
So when we first got started and we blew up so quickly, it did create a rift in a group that we were in that was a business coaching group. And some creators weren't happy that we got big so fast, and that they weren't growing at the same rate. And they had been in this group longer and known these creators longer. So it created more of an aspect of jealousy, in my opinion. And we didn't really see much of that backlash personally. It was more of our friends saw that backlash because it was their group. And so it ended up then they ended up closing the doors of their business coaching group due to that issue, which they had, you know, after all that happened, and because we're close with our friends still, they had told us they had been considering closing down the group anyways, because their hearts just weren't in it as much anymore. So that was kind of their push to do that. So they dealt with more of that backlash. We got a little bit of it from the jealousy, but I think the biggest thing that ever happened, I'm gonna let Mikey talk about, because sometimes I don't stop.
When you open yourself up to the internet and the world, there's bound to be some sort of negativity going on, because you got, you know, the keyboard warriors, and people only hear certain things about you and they lead to, you know what I mean? So that's not fair, but then it's just like, it's like water off a duck's back. You just gotta deal with it and just move on. So whenever we did first start and I was, you know, crafting, there was somebody in particular that didn't necessarily, I don't even know, but I was scrolling, like after a live one day late at night, I was scrolling Facebook and I came across this video of, I call him a crafty coworker, of this crafty coworker. And so she had said some things, and I got to thinking, I'm like, this is about me. So just to make sure that I knew that before I started anything, I wanted to make sure, like, you know, I'm going to go back and make sure. So the previous week, there was this like event, this craft event. And there was like 6 or 7 people in it, 6 or 7 creators, crafters in it. And one of the crafters was feeling down on herself, like, you know, pray for me and things like that. So I just, you know, did what a good person would do and try to lift them up, you know?
Yeah.
So then I went to this video, this live video, and this woman basically used my words that I gave another person against me. And by saying, like, you know, he lifts people up in prayer, but his lifestyle isn't the one that God needs and things like that. And she went as far as called me an absolute out homosexual. So you best believe I was like, listen, I don't even know you. The only thing that you know about me is my lifestyle, you know? So that became quite a huge uproar in the crafting community per se. And then I addressed it on a live. I went live and I addressed it. I didn't say any names and everything like that, because I wanted this woman to know, like, that's right.
Not live, while his heart was in the right place. And, you know, we share so much stuff with our people of our daily lives.
You have to. Like,
it caused people assumed it was somebody else. And it was one of those things that started spinning out of control, because now all these people are going to this person's page and, you know, saying something to them like, I can't believe you said this, and this isn't the person who even said it.
Right.
You know,
it was
trying to
a
not
huge mess.
say names, and it's making it worse. Because everyone.
It's like, but if you say names, then you face the issue of them trying to file a lawsuit. So
between a rock and a hard place.
Right. But I wasn't giving up, because I enjoyed doing it. I wasn't going to let this person, you know, steal our joy from something that we just found. And you know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. You're just trying to make it through every day like the rest of us. You know what I mean?
So,
you're just trying to stay happy and do what you got to do.
That's definitely still, like, in the crafting world, the homophobia is still there.
It is.
You know, we've met so many great people. We have so many great crafty cousins. That's what we call our followers, because we don't like the term followers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've met so many great people, and then occasionally somebody will come along, and the moment that they realize, you know, that we're gay, then their negativity comes out. And it's like, until you knew that, you loved us.
Right.
Like, what's the point? Where, like, it's like a switch goes off and it goes from love to hate immediately.
Yeah, and it's
But-
very, it's very unfortunate that they vocalize that too, because everyone's entitled to their opinions, but you don't have to make other people feel bad about themselves.
Right. Just carry on. Leave people alone,
That's
Yes.
it. Just carry on. You're just crafting.
Yeah. Right. That's literally just crafting.
Yeah, I don't know if I was surprised or not that you guys get hate for that. I think generally I'm always a little surprised, but
I feel like
I
just
also live
maybe-
in a bubble
yeah.
where we all love each other.
I think maybe it's just the thought that the crafting community, at least in general, I think is more accepting of the gay community than maybe the general population. At least it seems that way at a glance. A lot of the groups and stuff that we're in usually seem to be the first to share any Pride Month stuff or any of the artists get featured. I see a lot more features, I feel like, from the gay community in the art space.
Yes.
So,
I'd
but also
agree.
that doesn't necessarily mean that there's not anything negative happening either behind the scenes, too. So it
Right.
definitely brings a different perspective.
Yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from with that, because I agree, especially when it comes to, I'd say like the Tumblr crafting community and all those groups that I'm in. I definitely feel like it's more accepted than elsewhere. I'm not in many other crafting groups besides Tumblrs and a couple of our friends' little crafting groups, but I do see that more positivity in the.
I always say the
I got-
Home for Peculiar Artists. I feel like I've said on other craftees, but the Facebook group Home for Peculiar Artists, that's like the best crafting group I've ever found on Facebook, because they grab people that make
all
all kinds of stuff, like people that make sculptures out of the lead in a pencil tip, and will
Yeah.
like sculpt like a David, sitting there, the thinking guy or whatever. I'm like, how did you even
That's
do
one of
something like that? And I
mine.
would have never known that art like that exists if it wasn't for Facebook groups like that. So I feel like I'm always like super appreciative to be exposed to that stuff, because who would ever thought that there's art involved in just the lead tip of a pencil, or that there could
Right.
be art involved in it,
No, I can't even get it to sharpen correctly half the time.
Yeah,
let alone
right.
Carve into it.
Right.
So would you guys say that was your biggest hurdle that you've had to go over since you've started this adventure in your lives? Or has there been more?
I think that's one of the biggest hurdles that we had to face, because I feel like, with the amount of people that showed us love that has been there throughout those first couple lives that has enjoyed watching, I think that was a maybe kind of like a mechanism of her trying to just push us to the side and push us out of like being kind of like a bully to, well, if I do this, then they ain't going to come back, and that could potentially make my business even better. Or because I spoke up about such a huge kind of a topic of controversial topic, basically, because it's, but you can't, I mean, other than just things here and there and people still trying to, word on the streets, the Crafty Guys goes a bunch of bullies, and Crafty Guys go does this and does that, but they don't directly come to us about a situation and let us, because I'm a pretty, I'm trying to get to heaven, so I'm trying to be as honest as possible, so if somebody comes to me about something, I'm trying, I'm very straightforward when it comes to that, because, there's no sense of
I'll
trying to-
forget. I'll forget my lies. If I start lying and making stuff up and not telling the truth, I'll literally forget. I barely remember the truth half the time. But at least if I lived through it, I could tell you, you know what I mean? I'd get myself confused. Might as well tell the truth.
Yeah, you can't let somebody steal your joy, and
I love that
Yeah,
you didn't
that's-
let them, because it's always at the end. It's always some kind of alternative. What's the word I'm looking for? Ulterior motive, not
Right.
alternative anything.
right.
Sometimes I lose all my words. Your cousins definitely love you guys. I watch a lot of your lives. I don't always comment on them, but your comments are always impressive. They're always engaging with you. They're always talking in there. I mean, the last time I was actually talking, I think you guys were all talking about what you guys were all making for dinner. I'm like, I never get this kind of engagement. So, I mean, they're definitely behind you 100%.
Yeah, we enjoy it. We enjoy seeing all those familiar faces, and it's always fun having somebody new come into the live, and then I'm talking about butter or mac and cheese, and they're like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Well, we kind of talk about everything here, not just because I can't explain what I'm doing to the craft. If I explain that, then I'm just gonna get flustered, and so I'm just gonna talk about."
He'll just be like, real quick, like, I'm painting these pieces real quick.
Yeah.
And then he'll go on another conversation.
Yeah, let's talk about Hot Pockets, or and I bust out in songs sometimes, and
And by Hot Pockets, he's not talking about the food.
well, I panicked and I shouldn't have said that, but
What is
I was
the
like,
Hot
wait,
Pocket?
what can't we say here?
Get in trouble by the Facebook police.
Like so one thing he talked about in the live, so we've gone down the Temu rabbit hole. I don't know if you guys have or not.
You said Temu?
But the app, the
I just
Temu
ordered
app.
from them this morning.
I was gonna say what's funny is I have a text on my phone at 9:12 a.m. that says your Temu order has been confirmed, and I'm like, I have not ordered anything on
Caught.
Temu.
I'm caught.
Here we go.
But you know what? I get those emails and texts they take for your order, but neither of us ordered, and it's just the clickbait because they want you to click on something.
I
But
really
no,
did
so
make an order.
he was telling about his first Temu order one night. He was like, "Y'all, there's a Temu after dark." I searched men underwear. Next thing you know, 12 inches pops up on my screen.
Oh.
And then somebody got offended, and I was like, well, that person probably,
This shouldn't watch us.
shouldn't watch us.
It is only just one click of a button if you don't like what you're seeing. It's
Right.
like that easy. Like, it's way more clicks to talk shit. It's like so many more clicks to talk shit. It's one click to just go away.
Well, and so a thing of that recently was we had a lot going on. So Sarah kind of knows the situation. We were supposed to do North Carolina at the end of 2021, early 2022. We had sold our house in Virginia Beach. The closing kept getting pushed back on our house in North Carolina. It was a beautiful house. We loved it. Well, next thing you know, we lose the loan to the house last minute. And now we're like, crap, what are we going to do? We're homeless. Like, I mean, we're not, because we have family, but we don't have our own home.
You were about to move in. You were making plans.
Right. So that for us, that was an embarrassing moment because, we've already told all of our people, like, hey, we're buying this house in North Carolina, we're moving. And next thing you know, we're up in Ohio. So we went from Virginia, supposed to go to North Carolina, now we're up in Ohio. And so it took us a while to kind of quell the questions on that from people. And then we had a situation where a lawsuit was filed against us from the real estate company that we were using, and they want a commission on a house that we never got to live in or purchase. And so we kept all that quiet, because we didn't want to start anything up on the internet while that was still going on, because we didn't want them to come at us harder. And but the beginning of last month, we finally came to a settlement, and they dismissed all the charges and all that great stuff. So we opened up about it on our main page. We still didn't say names because we don't want to get in trouble for any of that.
Yeah.
But then we had people like, why are you sharing this with us? This is your personal life. And we're like, if you've been around, that that's what we do. So maybe this isn't the place for you. Like,
Right. I tell you every time when I get chub rub, you know what I mean? So why can't we just open up to you about us losing this house,
Summer's upon us.
Yeah, I'm an open book.
Right.
That's
Right.
still so crazy that they did that to you guys. But I mean, you guys took it on the chin. You did what you had to do. You got through it. I still find it very unfair, but
you know how I look at it? At the end, she barely saw any of that money because we did pay, but they tried to get the lawyer fees as well. And in Ohio, lawyer fees aren't favorable, so we made them an offer and basically told them, hey, if you don't accept this offer, we're going to file for bankruptcy, and then you won't see any of it. So they accepted our offer. So their lawyer fees were like 96% of that judgment, the initial judgment that we told them we paid. So she only saw like maybe $300 out of all the money we paid her. Right. So in our head, even though we had to pay that money out, she barely saw any of it. So, and I know in her head, it's probably like, well, I made them pay this money, even though I never saw any of it. You know, so we're probably both thinking that we got the other one, but at the end, it's over with, and we're happy it's over with. And we just recently bought a piece of land with an old house on it. So we're renovating that house, and so we'll have our own.
That's exciting.
Place soon.
I've seen your pictures. I'm really excited to see the final outcome of it.
Thanks. We are too.
We haven't touched it in like a week and a half, to be honest.
Now you really got to get to crafting.
Well,
Right.
So we were doing the demo ourselves, and we were like, we're going to hire contractors to build it back because we'd rather save some money on the demo. But then we kind of got burnt out. I mean, we got like 2/3 of the house demoed, so we just have a little bit left to do. And I think that we're going to work on that to finish the demo.
The point of like epoxying the cup, if it was a cup. And then...
Right, yeah. So it just kind of gets pushed to the side for a couple months, but we're not going to wait a couple months.
I feel so called out right now.
Yeah, you just do 2/3 of the craft and then just call somebody else.
Right.
Well, or you get that first layer of epoxy on it, but then you make another cup that you want to get epoxy on, so then that cup gets pushed to the side for a couple.
Because I don't feel like sanding it down, because now it needs to be sanded down and get another layer before I can decal it. So it's gonna have to sit over there now.
And I'm like,
you
you're
had
holding
your
up my
chance to come
turner.
out good the first time, and you didn't.
I know, I got a 3-turner from Dino's last year at the Great American Craft Expo. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm never going to use all 3 turners at once. And now I'm like, I need more arms. I need more turners because I've got 3 things on here, but I got 4 more cups I need more epoxy on.
Yes, that's how it always is. I'm glad you brought up the expo because that's what I wanted to bring up next. We're so excited. You guys are coming back again this year, but this year you guys are going to be teaching a class.
Yeah, we're excited. I'm a little nervous, but I'll be fine. But I'm excited about it. It was so much fun last year.
Will this be the first in-person for you?
An in-person that's specifically featuring us, yes. Because we have attended our good friend Lizzie and Aaron, her Kickabilly Christmas event that she does. Mikey's been to it 2 years, and I went to it last year, and those are in-person events. And I think both years she made him sit up on stage and craft with him in front of like 200 women. So,
well, just last year, the first year was kind of like a one-day thing, and just
then he went home.
Well, no, I did craft with her that year, but yeah, it's like crafting, sitting up there with like 200 women, and it's so much fun. It's because we have the same following because Lizzie and Aaron had introduced us to everybody, so. I'm at first I'm a little nervous, but then it becomes comfortable. But then I'm a little comfortable. So, but yeah, with the Craft Expo last year was a lot of fun, and even going on stage with the Craft Challenge, I was a little nervous, and because I'm used to like talking and stuff like that, and I was like, what do I do? But I didn't.
Which, by the way, is there a stage this year? Are there craft challenges?
There is a stage this year. We have been talking about the craft challenge, but I don't think we actually scheduled or like nailed anything down yet, right?
Yeah, we're still working on the rest of the whatever we're gonna have on the stage. But this year, it's not like last year was just like a riser in an expo room. This year, the stage is the House of Blues like concert venue. So it's like a stage like Dolly Parton's performed on that stage, and who else?
Well, now Mikey's gonna have to go on that stage.
So it's like it's a stage.
Because I'm still fighting for Mikey versus Nikki. I mean,
we got the ring. We do have the wrestling ring right across the hallway.
I was gonna say there's literally a boxing ring.
And honestly,
Yeah,
I'm not sure who I'm gonna put my money on.
I need to roll up in that.
Nikki.
Is that after last year's TumblrCon with Nikki having everyone slap each other with tortillas or whatever?
Oh my god.
That looked like so much fun.
Yeah.
No. That looked like lawsuits waiting to happen. That's what that looked like. As they approached me and said, hey, would you like to get into a slapping contest with also females and tortillas? No. Nobody's recorded me hitting a female with anything. I'm telling you right now.
I would have volunteered as tribute for sure.
There we go. We could have went against each other.
Right.
Only people that are roughly my build.
Right.
Male or female or just male?
No, just male. Just male.
Not getting you, huh? You guys had a rough go at it last year at the expo, though. At first, you guys had a rough start, and I'm really proud of you guys for making the best of it. Do you want to go into that?
So we did, and I can actually give you an update on that also.
Hey.
So for anybody that didn't, a lot of people didn't know this story unless you followed us or were at the expo and talked to us. But our car did get broken into at the hotel the morning the expo started. So we stayed in the King of Prussia area. We went to the Wawa. We pulled out cash from the PNC bank and the ATMs. I don't know why we did it like that. And then we went over to the actual PNC to change the money down to lower amounts.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't know why we did it like that now that I'm thinking about it. Like, I don't know why we went to the ATM, then to the bank, but there had to be a reason. We just can't think of it. Well, someone had seen me withdraw the money at the Wawa, followed us to the PNC, saw me come out of the PNC, and they followed us back to our hotel. And we weren't even in our hotel for 5 minutes. We were just going in to get stuff to take to the expo to set up our booth. And we came outside and our window was busted and the money was gone.
I was so heartbroken and embarrassed and sad for you guys when you told me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it wasn't your fault. You know, in my head, because I had stayed in the King of Prussia area for work. You know, we stayed at the really nice, the Avs apartments.
Yeah.
For when we were doing a store in Collegeville, I think it was. And so in my head, like, King of Prussia area is nice. It's got this huge, beautiful mall, and
It usually is.
you know, well then after we've been there, like, people were telling us, no, King of Prussia's got a high crime rate. Like,
And I asked John, I was like, is this a good area? And then I ain't going back to that area again.
so we ended up switching hotels. I had enough points to get us to a hotel closer to the expo. Because at that point we had to go to Home Depot. We bought a piece of plexiglass. We cut it to kind of fit Mikey's window, duct taped it up, so it was all good. But I switched us to a hotel closer to the expo, which I'm mad at Hilton because they still never gave me my points back like they told me they would. But whatever. At least it was points. You know, I didn't spend any extra money on a hotel. It's fine.
Yeah.
But we still had a great time at the expo. And and the update was, I think about a month ago, we got a month or two ago, we got a piece of mail in from the Pennsylvania District Attorney, and the person that did this was convicted because he had broken into multiple people's cars, and he does have to pay us restitution for the amount that he stole. We'll probably never see that money.
Right. He's
But
caught.
he was caught. He's serving time, and so like that's we finally got like the closure to that whole event.
That's super cool. I guess I never really put as much thought into it as you guys, but I just thought that was done, case closed. Like, what are you gonna do? That's so cool that
We didn't expect it. Yeah, we didn't expect to hear anything about it. I mean, we filed the police report when it happened. But come to find out, this guy had done this to like 4 or 5 other people. Same thing, followed them, broke into their car, stole money, whatever. And so he was ordered to pay restitution to like all 5 people. We started getting letters from the district attorney in the mail saying, like, can you fill out this witness form and send it back? And y'all, we're terrible at doing that kind of thing. We'll fill it out and then it'll stay on our desk and that's it. So we really didn't expect to ever see anything about the case. And then we got the letter saying that he was convicted.
How cool. I mean, don't hold your breath for the money, of course, but that might come one day. You don't know. Maybe, I don't.
Usually with the
Maybe I'll
restitution
not be a
stuff, you
millionaire.
get the first payment and that's it. They'll
Right.
say the
Yeah,
first
I mean,
payment just to show the courts that they're doing what they're supposed to, and then they get lost in the paperwork.
Well, we have the lowest amount out of all the people that he hit this to. So we're probably last on the list anyways.
Which, like I said,
that's pretty cool.
That's crazy though.
Yeah.
I
the
forgot you
situation
didn't
could have been
know.
way worse.
Yeah, I don't
But
think that I had realized that.
Yeah, I
We were
mean,
all doing crazy things.
Because I wouldn't have
Well-
ever expected something like that where we were, like you said, King of Prussia and everything, But I mean, I guess it makes it a targeted area because everyone's pulling money and cash out. The casino's around the corner. The mall doesn't have a store less than like, $1,000 for a T-shirt. The King of Prussia Mall is so crazy expensive.
This is true. Did
Right.
did I ever tell you what stores that John was opening?
Mm-mm.
Rofos.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Nobody knew what Rofo was when I referred to it around here. Just they'd be like, "What are you even talking?" Even people that live around here, I'm like, "It's Royal Farms. It's right. It's right there. It says it on the side, Rofo." I'm like, I never heard of it.
Yeah, I was telling Sarah in her live a couple weeks ago, like I trained and opened the Marlton store, Sicklerville. There was another one in New Jersey.
The one that's around the corner from us is the Gloss
Mansfield. I think that's what it is.
What'd you say?
I think Mansfield's the one I was talking about earlier. It's up north more.
The one that you were at, that was North Jersey.
Yeah, but Marlton, I think, is the one that's closest to you.
Yeah, that's the one that's near Alex's, the Little Gym.
Oh yeah, the Little Gym one. The one that's closest to us is Gloucester City. The one that's literally
closest to us.
that one's like walking distance to our house.
But in Jersey, I know I did those three. I think there was a fourth one. I just can't remember where it is. But I opened Rofos over all 6 states that they operate in. They're in 7 states now, actually. They just went to North Carolina. But I opened in every state: Pennsylvania, Jersey, Delaware, Virginia, everywhere.
They're more southern, right? Because they're only creeping up here. They're like Delaware, Maryland-ish.
They're based in Baltimore, so they're kind of branching out from there. Like they opened their first store in West Virginia 2 years ago, and they just opened their first store in North Carolina like a month ago.
Do they have Rofos in Ohio?
No.
You're not missing much. No offense, Rofo.
But what is the chain in Ohio for gas stations? Like it's not Wawa.
Speedway, Sheets.
Sheets.
Oh, you have Sheets?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Sheets is good.
Yeah.
So do are you guys Crafty Guys full time, or you don't still open Rofos, right?
Yeah, so when we moved up here to Ohio at the beginning of 2022, is when we went full-time Crafty Guys. That was the plan. We were supposed to move to North Carolina, was I would stay on at Rofo for a couple more weeks to work out my notice. But when we came to Ohio, that kind of put that wrench in there. So we immediately went full-time the moment that I came up here.
I went full-time back in whenever I quit my job at Funny Bone, probably, I don't even know, June of 2021 or something. And that's whenever I did Crafty Guys.
So you did go back after the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Because you couldn't go during the pandemic. You went back to work after it opened back up. I thought you were done after the pandemic.
Yeah, whenever, I think we opened up September of 2020 back up. But it was very limited, like seating and tables, and people were just absolutely bonkers. And that's whenever I was like, okay, I can't take this very much longer. And I consider myself a pretty strong person. I have tough skin, especially being a server at such a big establishment, and but then I could feel my patience growing smaller and smaller, and my love for people becoming, so, but I mean, ultimately I still love people, and I would still chat with anybody, but I with working with the general public during that was just chaotic, and it really took a toll on my mental health. And
I'm glad that you guys were able to do this.
How was it for you guys? I know that we got to wrap up earlier. But
I'm going to send you off, and then
how was it for you guys when you had the opportunity, like at least that you knew that you could step away from what you did normally and then be Crafty Guys Co. full time, like that feeling when you were like, yep, this is something that I think that I'm confident that we can do now?
So I feel like we knew for at least 6 months before it happened that it was something that we could do. And honestly, at that point, we hadn't even had our Glowforge yet to start our laser kits. At that point, the bulk of our money was coming in through like Facebook ads and reels and things like that.
And we used to sell the crap out of some t-shirts.
Oh yeah,
too.
and t-shirts. We were selling a crap ton of t-shirts. And I think that's when we started the thought process of we could do this full time. But I had been talking for at least a year prior to us getting the Glowforge that I wanted to get a Glowforge so we could make our own craft kits. And I should never vocalize that live on some of our lives, because next thing you know, other people started getting lasers and making craft kits, and then we're behind. But at the end of the day, it's all about loyalty, because we could have the best prices of any craft kits, but if you're not loyal to us, they're willing to pay the more for someone else's craft kits.
Oh yeah.
So we didn't get our Glowforge until February of 2022. The very beginning of February, because I think we've launched our first kit like February 15th. And yeah, I mean, the craft kits has been amazing. I feel like we do have some of the best prices in the market for craft kits. We don't do free shipping, but we do explain to our people that when they say you're getting free shipping, you're never really getting free shipping. It's built into the price of the stuff you're purchasing.
Yeah.
And we us personally couldn't justify that, because if we built $3 or $4 into every item that you purchase from us for shipping, and you end up buying 10 craft kits, you just spent $30 to $40 to ship without knowing it, and it only cost us $8 to ship your package. Yeah. So we always do calculated shipping with our stuff, and then we actually do offer free shipping on craft kits if they purchase at least $100, and that's legit. That is free shipping. Like it's not built into our price. We take that hit, but it's like a thank you for making such a large purchase.
Yeah.
But whenever it did feel good, but I was also nervous about it because I'm just always a nervous Nelly about everything, and I overthink every situation that I could possibly.
Step.
And he doesn't like to spend money.
Situation. I don't like to spend money.
I love spending
that's
money.
something worth overthinking, though. You know, like that's a major stepping away from the comfort zone of how you made money into a new realm of how you're going to make money. That's worth overthinking, I feel.
Yeah, true. It is a blessing, and
it was scary, but we quickly turned it around, and we're very happy with what we do now. You know, like Sara calls. I know that you guys go in the office at like 7 a.m, like every day. And Sara calls me today at like 9:45?
Yeah,
or something.
literally like 9:39, I think.
And I literally just got out of bed. So, you know, I have a habit of wanting to work late. So I'll hang around the house all day, and then at like 6 o'clock after we eat dinner, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the workshop and work on some things, and I'll be over there till like 11 o'clock. You know, like where Mikey comes over here all day during the day to work on things in the building, and then he's going live at night. But for me, for some reason, I just get more productive when the sun goes down. And it's crazy because it didn't used to be like that.
Once the sun goes down, I'm like, all right, so it's time to sit on the couch. I'll do some laptop stuff, and
I'm definitely first thing in the morning. My head pops off the pillow, and I'm like, before I even think about like brushing my teeth, I'm like, all right, we got 40 things to do. Where do I start? And I try to get it all done within like the first 2 hours of the day. And then I'm like, all right, that's good. See you tomorrow. I'm going to go and do nothing for the rest of the day. That's like a perfect world, but I don't think
when I worked like in retail and stuff, like I wanted those morning shifts. I hated working at night. Yeah. But now that I'm my own boss, it's like, if I'm not working, I'm usually sitting around the house bored. So
I'm still like groomed from construction because it was get your bulk of the work done before the heat of the day started. Like you want to get as much done basically before lunch, so that way anything after lunch is like either cleanup or loading up for the next day of work. You're on the downtrend, so that any of the like real physical, probably going to get heat stroke labor part of the stuff is done by like 10 a.m. So it never really got that hot. So that's like, and like I'm trained for that now. Now, even if it's not physical labor and I'm in air conditioning all day now, I still just want to get as much as I can done first so that I can kind of coast through the rest of the day.
That's a good motivation. You inspired me. Thank you.
I'm going. I got to go to the dentist though, guys. So Sarah's gonna sign you guys out. I'm gonna go get my mouth drilled open. So
Have
It's not
fun.
as dramatic as he makes it seem.
no,
I
it
think
is.
the
It's a
guy-
deep scaling. I'm getting a deep scaling. I don't like it.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
Now we need new signs.
Watch out.
Can you guys make me a new wooden sign, please?
Yeah, on it.
All right, I'll see you.
You don't have to be that
See you
excited
later.
about the dentist. I really like that shelf. Yeah, literally, like 9:39, I think it was. Bleh. Now I lost everything I was gonna say because he just knocked everything on the
I can't
damn
wait
wall.
to watch that back.
You know what I found the other day is the bubble mailer of the glitters you wanted me to color match. Do you remember that in 2020 that you sent
Oh
me
yeah,
glitter?
I do.
I'm pretty sure we color matched it by now, but I never got around to telling you which ones. But I still have the little jars of glitter.
Well, I remember the teal one. You were like, "Oh, that's this one. It's just ours is a little bit bigger cut, which is why the color looks off." And I was just like, "Okay." See, okay, so talking about glitter, I'm a very, I like fines. My favorite glitters is the fines, preferably 0.01s.
That's what we carry now.
That's well that, and at one point you had 0.08, and I love that one.
Then we
But the
switched up.
Yeah, but the 0.01s I do like, and it's probably because the bulk of the tumblers I've been doing the last couple months is tacky tapes.
Yes, and they were
And-
perfect with it.
They have the best coverage for it.
Agreed.
I don't like chunkies though.
I don't work well with them. I like the way that they look on other people's cups and they make them look perfect. And every time I go to do it, I'm like, I got my wax paper, and then I'm like, it's not looking like yours, girls. What is happening? All mine's flaking off. Now I gotta sand the whole. But other
No, I
people
get
make
it.
them look fantastic.
I totally get it. But I have to use it on this cup I'm working on, so hopefully
I'm
Hopefully it
excited to
works.
see it because you guys don't use a ton of glitter. I remember that from the start. That you guys, I mean, you use glitter. A lot of mostly twinkle nails. You sprinkle it, I think, right, in the paints and stuff. But you guys don't use a ton of glitter in your stuff.
I don't use much glitter. I have a thing of twinkle on my desk that I'll use occasionally, but
And I've been talking up the twinkle with the magnolia stencils that I do when I do my lives on that. Because that works really well with the chalk paste. But since I'm doing more tumblers now, I am starting to use the glitter more.
Well, it's nice.
once Halloween comes, I want to use more. I want to dabble in the glitter life.
Hey, come dabble along. I'll send you whatever you guys want.
And I have a vinyl addiction. But I think that's what's pushed. It's weird because I'm not a floral person at all. Like I don't like florals, but these floral hollow vinyls that have been coming out, I'm like, I need that and I need that. And I've been making things with them. And I mean, like, so it's just crazy because I'm not a floral person. And I'm like, this will look great on this tumbler with this color and this decal and everything else. Which, by the way, I'm going to need you to post up the Pride decals once you get through all of that. Because I'm going to need to purchase some more Born This Way.
I need to get a couple of them holographic sunflower ones. So we'll have to put some order so I can use it as a background. People would love that. I just thought, I don't even know why I don't think of this stuff.
I think I have 2 sheets of the colored sunflowers.
Okay, cool.
There we go. Good start
Wow.
already. I can't
I
believe you
love the
guys
hollow
only
vinyl.
been so you started your Facebook page September of 2020. I felt like it was a lot longer than that because I found you guys on your Facebook page in 2022, I'm pretty sure, right? That's when we started talking. I'm like, oh, I know, you two are the same person. Crafty Guys and Jonathan.
Crafty Guys Code, the page, I think, was in November 2018 or 2019.
Yeah, 2018.
And we had it, but we really just didn't.
We both worked and never really hardly.
Like if I make a
Utilize
tumbler,
it.
we post it. Or if I made like dog bandana with like a heat press, we post it. But it wasn't like it didn't do anything. And then when he started going live is when.
That's when you guys came across my feed. You guys were on my feed like every day. And sometimes I would just take the browser and put it on my second monitor, but I didn't have any audio. So I would just watch what you guys were doing sometimes. And then I think it was someone else in the office brought you guys up because we were looking at, crafters and what people are doing and who can use our glitter and stuff. And they were like, "Did you ever hear the Crafty Guys?" And I remember perking my head up like, I watched the Crafty Guys. Like these Crafty Guys, the same ones?
Right.
I said we appreciate it.
What was I gonna say?
Story of my
don't
life. What was I
remember.
gonna say?
I don't remember. I can tell you, I have so many molds that have been coming in though from Temu that I'm.
That's what I ordered. Don't tell Jason. I have the nerve to order molds. Literally, right before we were recording this, I was looking for molds and going through my tub of molds, and there's stuff in bags that I've never even taken out.
Have you seen the new holographic molds?
Yes, they've been out for a while. I've been trying to get Jason if we could put it in the Quack Pack for some time, over a year now, but now that he's taken over the Quack Pack, I don't think it's gonna happen.
They're so cool. I did purchase some from a small business, and I've only used one so far, but I love it.
I don't have any, but I definitely have to get my hands on them. And if Temu's got them, I'm gonna find myself back on there soon, I'm sure.
I don't know how well you can see it, but this
it looks great. It's a holographic for sure.
It's a holographic Pride.
Yup.
And I just love that mold so much.
I adore that. I love the holographic. It definitely brings more to that shimmer for the glitter for sure.
Yeah.
All right, boys, we're gonna have to wind this down because one, I'm without my co-star, and I'm gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do about this shelf because this was actually a really cool shelf that I got from Hot Topic some time ago, and I don't think I can get it back. So
That is cute.
if people would like to see what you guys are up to, where can they find you on social media? Throw out your handles, your website, whatever you got.
We're
Crafty Guys Co. on everything.
Yeah. It's Crafty Guys Co. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook,
YouTube,
Pinterest. And then our website is craftyguysco.com. So it's pretty simple. Just add that co like for company, but just CO, Crafty Guys Co.
I do have my own page that I do my more structured crafts on.
What are they moving out there?
And that's just Crafty Guy John.
Sorry, I don't think you guys can hear it, but right outside the door, they're moving big.
Like a house.
Yeah, Chris said like a house. All you hear is banging outside of the wall. I'm like, what are they doing? About your structured page, please, sir.
I have a page, Crafty Guy John, as well.
Yeah.
And that's only because that I used to do a direct sales with a company called The Body Shop. And so I had a business page just for that. But The Body Shop decided to close its doors in the US for the direct sales. So I transitioned it to Crafty Guy John. So I do Magnolia stencils there. But that's also where I'll most likely be going live to like show tumblers. And once I get a couple set up in different stages, because tumblers are so hard to do live.
Yes, especially because of all the stages. And I was just going to say, I think it's funny because I knew that you had another page, but I don't think that it really dawned on me that it's called Crafty Guy John, but that's what you're saved in my phone. Like your cell number is Crafty Guys John.
It just flowed. And when I didn't know what to do with the page, I was like, it's just gonna be Crafty Guy John because
yes.
I mean, that's what it is. So I have a TikTok Crafty Guy John, and I do go live over there. Well, I join a box over there and one of my friends where she does tumblers, and we'll just sit there for a couple of hours and we're just chatting and working on tumblers together. I need to really start going live on my own page. The only thing I don't like about TikTok live is when you do that and you join someone else's live from your live, like you don't see their comments. Both of your comments still stay separate.
Oh.
But when you join a box, like you're not live and you just request to join their stream, then you can still see all the comments. So
There's so much about TikTok, I have no idea. I gotta learn.
I know there is, but I will say Facebook needs to learn from TikTok on the picture-in-picture. So because when I'm watching somebody live on Facebook, like I want to be checking other things on my phone, but I can't.
I agree with that. I usually find myself with my laptop up and then my cell phone out. Before I know it, the whole night's gone and I don't even know where it went. But I'm watching all these lives now.
Right.
Oh my goodness. It's been so much fun hanging out with you guys. John, you know I love talking to you. We stay on the phone all the time when I can squeeze myself away. But I gotta go. But everyone can come see you guys at the Great American Craft Expo this August in Atlantic City, and I'm super pumped to see you guys. I don't think I'll see you guys before that, right? You guys aren't going to TumblrCon next week, are you?
No, as much as I would love to go to other events, I don't think that we're ready yet. Because TumblrCon's in Texas, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And Mikey doesn't like to fly.
No.
Oh, not a flyer.
No.
Where I'm like, let's just get on a plane. We'll get there fast. And he's like, I'd rather drive. I'm like, no.
I would rather take 5 days, a 10-day round trip driving than flying.
No, not I. I'll
Right.
fly. Me and John will fly. You and Jason can drive.
Maybe if we had an RV or something, you know.
I'll do an
then
RV.
Because then we could keep our businesses running.
Yeah, and my attention span. Because I'm not a good passenger. I'll drive you nuts.
Right.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
we appreciate you guys and thanks for having us on and all of that. We are looking
Absolutely.
forward to seeing you guys and hanging
In 2
out.
months.
I know, we're excited. So,
We have so much to do.
but we're going to do it.
We got to cut craft kit, everything.
What is it that Jason said? Back to work?
And never bring the kettle to the pot.
Now, pour the tea.